Today we're printing on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we just kind of made this station for our production manager. And so we're thinking it would look badass if we put a huge design on the floor right here. So we're gonna have to kind of remove this rug, rip off that tape, clean it up, get rid of these tables, and we're gonna throw a big old print that Brian made up. Reason being is that when we have customers walk through our shop, they walk through these doors, these 8 little plastic doors, and they'll walk in, they'll see this, and then they'll see that first thing. And it'll look sweet. And also all of our team, they'll be standing around this area right here when they have their daily production meetings. And so we thought it'd be a perfect spot for that. So let's get to it, let's get going. We're gonna be using this screen today, so we had Jush recycle it, got it all ready for us. Anyway, we only need like this much of the screen, but I didn't really have a good in-betweener. Like the biggest size I had, it was just an inch smaller than we needed. And this one's like 4 feet bigger, so it's kind of a weird thing. But anyway, so we're just gonna coat like most of the screen and then burn it. So let's go coat it right now. All right, so I'm just gonna grab some emulsion. Anyway, just get some emulsion. I'm gonna need a pretty big chunk of it because we're coating a pretty big screen. We're just gonna lay this straight down. So we got the screen coated. We're gonna let it dry for a little bit. We put a fan on it, just letting it dry, get it drying. So now we're just gonna prep the area. Got that clean. Honestly, our intention was to get it cleaned enough to accept the print because it is going on the floor. And we kind of like the look of the, you know, used cement where we're all like working. So we're trying to keep that in place. And we got our vellum, so we're gonna take that downstairs. And Brian and Allie previously put this all together. We'll kind of give you an idea of what it's gonna look like. So we'll transfer this to the screen, wash it out, and then set it right there on the ground. So those are these huge screens, like we just barely got this one. We pulled it off the truck and burned it. We got it from one of our friends here locally that retired, and we popped it within like 10 seconds of it getting off the truck. And it sucks because it's such a beautiful screen, and it was super tight, ready to go, aluminum frame. So that was kind of a bummer, especially when it's like $300 mesh, you know? So, oh, this is gonna suck getting back here. Oh boy. Oh, look at this glass, dude. I gotta wash that whole thing. We've been doing construction up here and there's a lot of dust and we gotta take care of all that. So the last couple of days have been pretty bad on the glass. Maybe we should have shut it, but you know. First things first, we're gonna get the burner started. Okay, we'll let that heat up while we start washing the glass. So I'm gonna go grab some Windex. Gotta do the dirty. Get on in here in just a second. I'm gonna wipe the back first. Go get the screen. A 10 by 5 foot screen, maybe 11 feet, and just got it up here on the dryer. I think it's still gonna look sick. It'll look awesome. It up, and then I'll come this way and let you go through. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then you walk through. Where are you going? Okay, I'll turn this way then. Yep. Just don't set. No, set it that way. There you go. I just don't want to squish anything. So we'll grab some tape. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is we decided to burn it this direction so that we're gonna lay the screen down right here and lay it down this way. And so we just gotta get a couple center lines of where we're gonna print to, and we're gonna move the rug a little bit so we have a little bit of room. Create a nice, beautiful tripping hazard as I'm tripping. Okay, so now we're gonna measure center. Okay, so we're at 114 1/4. So now we'll go down, and then you have to put it to the wall if you can. Yep, got it? 114 1/4. Okay, now let's go down and do a few of them. So we just need to line up with that, and then we'll be centered to the desk. So now what we're gonna do is we just gotta decide how low we want it, and that we're just gonna kind of eyeball it and decide. But we did decide that we want it facing, so when you're standing this way that you can see it instead of upside down the other way. So this is some plexiglass right here. I'll use some of that. I'm just grabbing some random pieces. Yeah, we basically just need some pieces to be able to create enough gap between the floor and the image. Ready? Yep. Lift it up. We'll get a rough idea of where it's gonna go. So then what I'm gonna be doing is just checking off contact, which we actually do have a little bit. Let's see how it feels. Got none down there, so I'm gonna pass this to Allie. Okay, and then I'm gonna lift up my side, and then we'll fill that. That feels a lot better. That feels good. And I need a little bit over here. And I'm just using a little piece of plexiglass, and that one, you can see that the concrete's uneven. I just wanted to make sure I had enough lift off, so when I push on it, it doesn't sink. Okay, so now, ready to print. Okay, for concrete, I'll probably use epoxy resin. Gloss vinyl, this is my epoxy resin. Opaque black, opaque white, and then this is the hardener. Grab a little knife. There's not one over there. And then we need to do 5% of that. So now I need to grab my calculator. So I'm gonna do 372.9 times 0.05, 18.6. So now we're gonna do 18.6 grams of catalyst. All right, so that's 5%. And then what you do is you start mixing. And then when you're done mixing, you just keep mixing. You wanna make sure this is really spread out, or else your epoxy won't really turn out how you're hoping. And obviously there's some tolerance between this. You know, the more, just like if you worked with Bondo or any other sort of epoxy, the more additive, you know, hardener you add, the quicker it'll go. We just gotta drizzle the ink in there. Drizzle, 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 drizzle. Dude, that's sweet. So much ink. Oh, yes. Yes, man. Here we go. All right. Squeegee down. Okay, now we're gonna lift it up pretty fast, but slow. See all the ink letting go right here? So that's really good off contact then. I'm gonna slowly lift up just to, you can see it right there how it's stuck to the ground. Oh, baby. We just finished printing it. I'm a little bit bummed about the lines right here. So what I'm gonna do, take the rest of the ink, because it's gonna be bad here in a little bit. It's already starting to harden up. It's a one-time use. And what I'm gonna do is just take a little bit as if I'm painting, but you can see how gummy it is already. But I don't wanna lay it on too thick or else we'll get kind of we'll make another problem. So I'm just gonna come in here and kind of feather it out. Okay, so that's it. Then this ink is disposable, so this will just get as hard as a rock. So you can just set it in the trash can and that'll become a brick in a couple hours. So yeah, so we're printed it. So now the next thing we're gonna do is let it dry. For us to keep the longevity of the image without it getting too ruined. Not that it would peel off or anything, but that people are gonna walk on it, it'll just get kind of dirty. What we're gonna do is we're gonna clear coat it with some, I think it's called like hydrophobic cement sealer. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it gets super hard, but it's you can't see it. It's really cool. And we're gonna spray it over the entire skull, and then that way we can clean it easily with like solvents and everything and really be able to wipe it up back to new. And so we'll be doing that. Anyway, that's kind of what we're gonna do, but it turned out super good. I'm super stoked with what it's gonna look like. So thanks for watching. Auf Wiedersehen.